Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, my group and I will be presenting about the Ottoman Empire. This presentation is prepared by our group, which is myself, 24B1105, Muhammad Hamis Mirza bin Haji Sudirman, 24B1106, Muhammad Abdul Qawi alias Muhammad Shazwan bin Shamrin, 24B1137, Ahmad Izzat Muizzuddin bin Haji Masli, and 24B1125, Muhammad Wazir bin Muhammad Wajih. So we will be explaining how the empire rose, how it struggled during its decline, and some key historical events that shaped its history. So let's begin with the context overview. This slide shows the main topics we will be covering in our presentation. First, we will talk about the rise of the Ottoman Empire, including important leaders and early conquests. Next, we will explain the weakness and decline of the empire and how it struggled to survive in the modern era. We will also discuss the occupation of Constantinople by British and French forces, which happened after World War I and marked one of the final chapters of the Ottoman state. And finally, we will end with a short conclusion to summarize our key points. This slide shows the key stages in the rise of the Ottoman Empire. It begins with Osman I, who founded the Ottoman state. Around 1299, he conquered parts of Anatolia, which marked the beginning of the Ottoman Sultanate. Next, we see Sultan Mehmed II, also known as Mehmed the Conqueror. In 1453, he captured Constantinople. This was a major turning point because it ended by Byzantine Empire and marked the start of the Ottoman Empire as a major power. Finally, we have Selim I, who ruled in the early 1500s. In 1516 and 1517, he conquered the Sultanate of Egypt. This victory allowed the Ottomans to gain control of the Islamic holy cities and marked the beginning of the Ottoman Caliphate. Together, these three leaders and their conquests show how the Ottoman state grew from a small Anatolian beylik into a powerful empire, and later the center of the Islamic world.
Weakness and decline, the struggle for survival. It divided by two perspectives or school of thought, that is from Islamization thought and Westernization thought. From the Islamization point of view, is their action is revert back to Islamic principles. This view held that the pure application of Islamic law and morality was the only true cure for the empire's ills, rejecting wholesale imitation of the West. Next is autocracy. Autocracy means a system of government by one person with absolute power. This person, known as an autocrat, has absolute control of the government and people, and their decisions are not limited by a constitution, laws, or other restraints. In short, it can be summarized as reason versus faith and science versus belief, as the Westernizers argue that the empire could only be saved by modernizing its system through secularism and adopting Western science, and the traditionalists and Islamists argued that this secular or Western fault for the decline because it reformed by Westernizing, which neglected the Islamic character and religious legitimacy of the empire. From the Westernization view, their action is adopt more Western ideas. This was manifested in the 19th century Tanzimat reforms, which modernized the military, legal, and administrative systems along European lines. The reforms were driven by the influence of the Enlightenment movement and its emphasis on the centrality of reason. The Ottomans sought rational, secular solutions to military and economic problems. Next is democracy method. It means a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives. Next, the ideas of nationalism, the concept of Ottomanism, which is equal citizenship for all Ottoman subjects regardless of religion, and concepts of individualism and aspirations for self-determination. These two has the centrality of reason. In the context of the Ottoman Empire's decline, the centrality of reason was the belief that the human intellect and logical inquiry, rather than a tradition or religious doctrine, should be the primary source of authority and the method for solving the empire's existential problems. The concept comes directly from the 17th and 18th century European Enlightenment, as embodied by the thinkers like John Locke and Isaac Newton, such as logic of dogma and national governance.
Following World War I, Constantinople, now known as Istanbul, was occupied by British and French forces from 1918 to 1923. The Allied powers took control of the city and key strategic locations as the Ottoman Empire surrendered. This period marked a significant moment in Turkish history, leading to the Turkish War of Independence and ultimately the establishment of modern Turkey. The occupation ended with the Treaty of Lausanne in 1923, recognizing Turkey's sovereignty and shaping the country's future. Now, let's move on. We will meet the contrasting figures who shaped Turkey's transformation. On one hand, Sultan Abdülmecit II, the last caliph, symbolizing the end of an era. On the other, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the visionary leader who forged a new path, becoming Turkey's first president and guiding the nation towards secularism and modernity. Their legacies mark a pivotal turning point in Turkish history.
Moving on to its conclusion. The story of Ottoman Empire reflects the rise, dominance, decline, and eventual dissolution of one of history's greatest empires. From its strong foundations and rapid territorial expansion, the empire grew into a major political, military, and cultural force across Europe, Asia, and Africa. Over time, however, growing internal problems, economic struggles, nationalist movements, and military defeats weakened the state. The pressure from European powers further accelerated its collapse. The occupation of Constantinople by British and French forces highlighted the empire's loss of sovereignty and marked the beginning of the end of Ottoman rule. This occupation not only symbolized the empire's downfall, but also paved the way for the establishment of modern Turkey under Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. In the end, the Ottoman Empire's legacy remains significant, shaping modern borders, influencing culture and law, and leaving behind remarkable architectural and historical achievements. Its rise and fall continue to offer valuable lessons about leadership, reform, and the challenges of governing a vast, diverse empire. So that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much.